Okay, so let's be real. You're good at your job, you hit your targets, your reviews are great, but that next step, that promotion, it just seems to be stuck. You feel like you're doing everything right, but you're not moving up. Well, what if I told you the key to unlocking your career isn't about working harder? It's about something you're probably overlooking every single day. Let's get into it.
I mean, it's the most frustrating question, isn't it? You put your head down, you deliver amazing work, you do everything they ask, and yet you see other people climbing the ladder while you're still on the same rung. It's a super common story, and trust me, the reason is often something completely invisible.
Yep, you heard that right. The secret isn't buried in some corporate spreadsheet or a formal meeting with your boss. It's actually hidden in plain sight. It's in those little, everyday moments you might be totally ignoring, like waiting in line for coffee, riding the elevator, or even at the gym. These are the places where careers are secretly being made.
To really get this, we need to look at a pretty fascinating cultural difference. It all starts with a story about two completely different ways people behave while just waiting for a cup of coffee, one in the US and one in India. Think about the contrast here. In the US, it's totally normal for two strangers in a coffee line to start chatting about the weather or a game or whatever. In an elevator, you'll hear a good morning. But in a lot of other cultures, like in India, for example, the default setting is often just silence, right? We pull out our phones, we stare at the elevator buttons. Now, this isn't about one being friendly and the other being rude. Not at all. It's a really deep cultural difference that has a huge impact on our careers. So, why on earth do these tiny, seemingly pointless conversations matter so much? Well, the answer comes from this really cool sociological theory. It's all about the hidden power of the people you barely even know. Okay, so back in 1973, a sociologist named Mark Granovetter found something that just blew everyone's minds. He discovered that most people, we're talking over 70%, didn't get their jobs through their best friends or family, their strong ties. Nope, they got them through acquaintances, or what he called weak ties. See, your close friends, they all know the same stuff you do. It's these weak ties, these acquaintances, that are the bridge to brand new information and entirely new worlds of opportunity. Let's just do some quick back-of-the-napkin math here. Let's say you have about 10 close friends, your strong ties, and each of them knows, I don't know, around 150 people. Your total network reach through just them is about 1,500 people, which sounds like a lot, right? But just wait. Now, let's look at your weak ties. You probably have about 150 acquaintances. The person you see at the coffee shop, the guy at the gym. Well, if each of them also has 150 unique connections, your potential network absolutely explodes. We're talking 22,500 people. That means you're potentially missing out on 95% of your opportunities just by not chatting with them. I mean, just look at this chart. The difference is just staggering. It's not even a fair fight. All the opportunities, the hidden jobs, the critical pieces of information, pretty much all of it is flowing through that massive network of weak ties. And the only way to plug into that network is through, you guessed it, small talk. Okay, but I get it. You're probably thinking, how does a random chat about the rain possibly lead to a job offer? It feels like a massive leap, right? Well, it's not about the topic itself. It's about the subconscious mechanism of building trust. And it turns out trust can actually be broken down into a formula. And here it is. This is the trust equation. It's a really powerful way to think about it. Basically, trust is made up of your credibility plus reliability plus intimacy. All of that divided by your self-orientation. And small talk, that's the tool you use to build every single piece of this equation. So let's break it down. You build credibility by casually dropping in things like, oh yeah, when I was at Google, we had that issue. You build reliability just by being seen, that daily nod to the person in the coffee line. You build intimacy by slowly moving the conversation up the ladder over time, from the weather to what they're working on. And you lower your self-orientation, which is the most important part, by simply making the conversation about them, not about you. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, especially if you come from certain cultures. This small talk stuff just feels so fake. It's not authentic. I hear you. But that's a total misunderstanding of what's happening. It's not about being fake. It's about speaking a different cultural language. Here's how it works. In what are called high-context cultures, like in India or Japan, trust is usually built on your background and your relationships before you even start talking business. But in low-context cultures, like the US or Germany, it's the other way around. The interactions and transactions are what build the relationship. That's why an email from an American colleague might seem super blunt. Neither way is better or worse. They're just different operating systems. The secret is knowing which language to speak in which situation.
Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. Because this isn't some kind of magical art form you have to be born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can learn it. There's a clear step-by-step framework you can follow.
Just think of it like a video game with 4 simple levels. Level 1 is environmental. Wow, it's really busy in here today, huh? Level 2 is situational. So what brings you to this conference? Level 3 is professional. Oh, that's interesting. What industry are you in? And the final boss level, the most powerful one, is value add. I just read a great article on that. I'll shoot it over to you. See? You just guide the conversation up the ladder.
And while you're climbing that ladder, here are the absolute no-nos, the guardrails. First, don't make it all about you. Second, don't make it an interrogation. Question, question, question. Third, avoid monologues. Fourth, keep it light, no heavy politics or religion. And finally, and this is the big one, do not judge. Your job is to build a bridge, not a wall.
So here we are, the bottom line. Learning this skill isn't just some nice little extra for your resume. It is a critical career choice. And there are very real rewards if you do it, and very real costs if you don't. Let's talk about the good stuff. The benefits are massive. When you master this, your visibility at work goes through the roof. Senior leaders actually know who you are. Your chances of promotion go way up because people promote people they know and like. You get access to that hidden job market, the 70% of jobs that never get posted online. And maybe most importantly, when layoffs are happening, you're not just a name on a spreadsheet. Now, the other side of that coin is pretty stark. If you don't engage, you risk being labeled as a poor communicator, or worse, not a team player. You get skipped over for promotions, even if your work is incredible. You're the last person to hear about new projects or opportunities. And yeah, you might be one of the first to go when cuts are made. It's not fair, but it is reality. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't about abandoning your culture or who you are. It's about learning the language of the environment you want to succeed in. Refusing to adapt isn't about cultural pride. It's about putting yourself at a massive strategic disadvantage. So really, the choice is yours. You can keep doing what you're doing, relying only on your performance, standing in silence, and just hoping that opportunities find you. Or you can start having those small, simple conversations that open up a whole new world of possibilities. So what are you going to do the next time you're waiting for that coffee?